Magazine. I am here with Isis Queen of the Barbed Wire Dolls. How are you?
Stunning, excellent, all the above. Doing good.
Good. That's what everybody likes to hear. Everybody having a good time. So you're just kind of relaxed, kick back, getting ready to release that new album, yeah?
There's no time to relax ever when you're in a rock and roll band. You just gotta keep going. You know, right now we're writing new songs. We're back home in our place at the Icarus Artist Commune in Crete, Greece. And even though our album's coming out now with Motörhead music, we're writing new songs for the next album.
No rest for the wicked, huh?
No rest for the wicked.
So let's talk about Desperate coming out the 22nd of this month. So I mean, you know, it sounds like you're already writing new stuff for the next one. So how was this process for Desperate? Did it take you guys very long, or are you guys just pumping them out?
Well, you know, we've been a DIY band for the whole time that we've been together for about 5 years. And, you know, things happen really slowly when you do things by yourself. You know, you don't really have the financial means to, you know, throw as many albums out as you'd like to. Desperate, being our sophomore album, was written, you know, pretty easily, but we really couldn't put it out until now. And we just kind of been, you know, playing it a lot, you know, changing it around, you know, the songs are always evolving into something else. And finally, you know, we're able to go and record at Sonic Ranch in Texas, where the owner, Tony, you know, saw us live, loved us, and gave us an opportunity to come record there. And then everyone else that contributed to the album, you know, really helped out a lot in many ways to make it possible. So...
And you say you're, you know, a DIY band, which is almost like the way the music industry is going today. But then you guys just recently kind of, you know, got picked up by the Motörhead label. So what can you see as the big differences as being do-it-yourself and produce everything yourself as to actually having some backing? What are kind of the pros and cons of that?
There's a big difference. I mean, we did everything by ourselves. You know, every once in a while a booking agent would come in and help us in some territories that we were unable to do it by ourselves. So, you know, even though we booked ourselves across America, a lot of the times a booking agent, though we went through a couple, you know, could pull in a lot more favors, could get a lot more guarantees. So though it's possible in this day and age to do it by yourself, and it helped us a lot to understand who we were and what we wanted to be like and what type of band we wanted to be, because there was no one on top of us telling us what to do. Once a label comes in, you know, they could take it to the next level that by ourselves we hit the peak. You know, we couldn't do anything more by ourselves, so we went to the next level. Luckily, you know, Lemmy, who was a huge influence on us, helped us out a lot, and he saw the potential in who we are as a band and what we are capable of without a label. He wanted us to be on his label to represent his legacy. So how could you turn that down?
Right. How could you turn that down? And I mean, just how it's got to be like exhilarating, like just feel just completely overwhelming to have someone's backing like Lemmy's.
It really is. I mean, up until now, we really had to support 100% of our fans, and they kept us going, you know, financially, mentally, and, you know, musically. And when someone like, you know, Lemmy Kilmister, that's just a god, a rock god, you know, he represents everything that's authentic and pure in rock and roll, comes in and gives you the thumbs up, you know, that means a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you guys are pretty much like touring juggernauts. You guys are on the road constantly. You know, you guys have played tons of shows over the last 5 years. I mean, it's got to be a little taxing yet, you know, rewarding, right?
We're total nomads. The more we are on the road, the happier and more exhilarated we are to play music. You know, when you sit around, you know, you kind of you know, curl up and get your belly scratched a little bit, and you know, the music really needs to keep flowing. It keeps you alive, you know, whether you know, playing live for us is everything. And it's all about making new fans and exciting the fans, you know, and seeing the old fans relive what they experienced last time in a new show. So.
All right. What is the music scene like in Greece? I mean, I have no idea what it would be like over there. But how's the scene over there, and how are you as musicians inspired in Greece to be what you are, to be kind of that, punk style sound?
I mean, when we started, we're from the island of Crete. That's where we started.
Right.
Where we when we started, there were no punk bands. There were no real venues to play either. If there was some punk bands, they were like total anarchists, where they played only in their basement for like 5 friends. I mean, there was no one out in the market, creating a scene or causing some sort of, excitement in the rock world. So when we started, we had to do it like, we couldn't even play in Crete. First of all, they would tell us that we were too loud. And there was no place to play because there was no market for us to play to. And so even though we knew everyone in the rock scene, so we had to go to Athens, and even then it was almost impossible to get shows because we were a band from Crete, not from the scene of Athens, and so we couldn't guarantee a crowd. So we really had to, that's when it all started going DIY for us, because we found a venue, not a venue, it was a bar in downtown Athens, Intrepid Fox, where we begged them to give us their Sundays because it was the slowest night. And we would put on free shows called the Punk Rock Matinees, inspired by the CBGB's movement. And it was free to the public, all ages, because we wanted to start a scene, because, I mean, there was no punk bands. There weren't even punk bands in Athens, and this is a country that's all about politics and speaking your mind and saying something. And Greeks are 100% punk rock as it gets,
Right.
So we really wanted to inspire people to, because we started the band just because we were bored with the music scene. So if we were bored, then there must have been other people out there feeling the same way. Sure enough, there was. There was a lot of bands that came out of those days. And right now the scene is really pumping. I mean, we were the first rock punk band to play in the U.S. I mean, can you imagine, 2010, there were no bands from Greece that ever played the U.S. There'd be metal bands, but metal's a whole market of its own that, is self-sufficient. When it comes to punk rock and rock and roll, just wasn't any bands that had played the U.S. So once we started doing that, once the Greeks started seeing that we were doing it by ourselves, we were touring the U.S., we were getting some sort of excitement and some, people were interested and cared. It really inspired a lot of them to come and play in the U.S. and play abroad and put themselves out there, and a lot of bands started out of that, which is great. It's really great because music is life, and freedom through music.
So you're like a pioneer for your countrymen. You let them know that it's okay to be different and have a new style. I mean, that's awesome.
I don't know what we are, but it's definitely inspiring people out there. So that's all that matters.
Oh, don't be humble now. Come on. If you're the first to do it, you are a pioneer, and like you said, you're definitely one of the first to do it from Greece. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So like I said, you got Desperate dropping the 22nd of this month. Tell us a little bit about that album, some inspiration behind it.
Desperate is exactly what the title says. I mean, there was a lot of anger and frustration and desperation in that album, but it's really just a continuation of how our debut album was presented. We're coming from a country right now that's going through a lot of political turmoil, and it's affecting the people a lot mentally and artistically too. I mean, whenever a country goes through so much chaos, there's going to be a lot of artistic movement coming from it. So I mean, for us, Slit, our debut album that was recorded with Steve Albini, is an album that's just screaming and kicking and constantly, questioning everything. Whereas our sophomore album, Desperate, that's coming out with Motörhead Music, is kind of the answer to that. And it's desperate, it's it's a great album. We're really proud of it, and it's our child that's kicking and screaming, but it's more mature than the first one for sure.
Right on. So, and obviously you guys are going to be. Oh, go ahead.
It's also our continuation, like Slit. We recorded as a 3-piece with no bass player. So though you can hear bass on it, it's piano guitarist plugging through a bass rig, playing through his guitar. Whereas Desperate, we're a 5-piece and we've got a bass and rhythm guitar. So it's a lot of full album. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, why did you add the other 2 pieces? Did you feel you needed that, or just, what brought that about?
The songs that were coming out for Desperate, naturally required more people. Okay. More, melodies.
Right. Growth out of necessity type thing.
Yeah.
Right on. And obviously you guys are going to be trying to get out on the road and tour and back this as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as we can get on the road, the happier we'll be. We're very excited to be playing Wacken, the biggest metal festival in the world.
Oh, yeah. August. Absolutely.
So we're so stoked on that. And then we're headed for a European tour end of September.
Right on. That's going to be awesome. That's a good time. Any plans to try to get back over here to the States, or?
Definitely. As soon as the European tour is over, we should be closing some dates for the U.S.
Right on. Well,
so, and end of the year.
Absolutely. Well, let everybody know how they can get a hold of your music and how they can get a hold of you guys, and we'll get you going on with your day.
BarbWireDolls.com. Obviously, every social media that you can think of. And come to a live show, because that's the only way you can experience the pureness that music can inspire and regenerate your soul.
Right on. And I did see that if you do pre-order the album now, you can go ahead and get one of the tracks off of there already before it hits. So definitely get out there, pre-order the album Desperate, coming out the 22nd.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for your time, and I hope you guys have great success with this album and enjoy getting back out there on the road.
Thanks for all the support. We'll definitely see you at a live show, yeah?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You get over this way, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Thanks for calling.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good rest of the day.
All right. Rock, Rip It Up. See you around.